Senate has taken 2 votes this week on tariffs, and it's to have them removed. I'm going to tell you about both of those. And also, Prince Andrew is now officially stripped of his title, Prince, and all his other titles. Wow. We're going to talk about all that too. So, hi, welcome to You Make Me Sick TV, where I just bring you the truth. Anything I say, I either bring with knowledge and factual things from our courts or our officials. And if I want to add my opinion, I'll let you know. Wink, wink. Okay, so the second Senate vote happened this week, and that is to remove tariffs. So the first one was to vote on to Brazil tariff because of the beef issue that's going on there, and also because they're buying they're our soybean farmers competition to China. China's buying the soybeans from them. So the Senate got together, they voted, and they passed the vote to remove the tariffs on Brazil. Now they voted again, I think it was yesterday, Thursday, to remove the tariffs on everybody, on every country that Trump has put tariffs on. And it passed the Senate again. So not that that technically does anything, I believe, but the fact is that there are Republicans that do agree that this has gone way too far as them representing their constituents, which is what they should do. We shouldn't be in this uproar, but there's an uproar. The Congress, who usually does things like this, has been dismissed, as you know, from the leader of the House, MAGA Mike Johnson. And so they could not take the vote on this. So the Senate's decided to take the votes on it, and that was the outcome. Now, one of the reasons why Mike Johnson shut down the House was to stop this negotiation that the Democrats wanted on the big ugly bill that had been voted on a few months again. And this was the only way that the Democrats, had the only stand they had to take to say, no, you really can't take away these health insurance benefits for all the states, no matter if they're red, blue, or purple. It's just not the right thing to do, to take away this affordability that was put into place so healthcare could be much more affordable. So that was going out in the one big bill, and that's the way to stop it from going out for good and for prices to rise for now. That's the way it was brought to the public scope, so the public can see what was really going on in the bill. So now that it's been brought to the public's on day, in case you didn't know, today's day 31 of the government shutdown. So that's one of the reasons why the government is shut down from the Democrats' point of view, is this is their way of negotiating in a minority Congress that they want everybody across the country to be able to afford their health care, and they don't want this to end because the big, beautiful bill passed. Now, the Republicans call this bill a clean bill because it already passed. There's really nothing clean about it. It gives huge tax breaks to the way up rich people across the boards. And it removes this affordability that the whole country is talking about now for everybody that doesn't get their insurance through their company or the government that they work from, that own their own companies. etc., or can't, their companies don't give them insurance. So with that being said, there's another reason why it's also shut down is that they're keeping under the radar in general, is because the Epstein files need to be released and they're still not being released. And the most recent elected official in Arizona has not been sworn in. She has asked Mike Johnson to swear her in multiple times, and he refuses to. And every time he comes in front of the press every morning, he just comes up with a different reason. He just has like this carousel of lies and excuses. It looks like he just spins it, and then one day he goes back to this answer for this topic. Then he spins it again. He picks a different answer or the same answer he gave a week ago for another topic. So he's still not swearing her in because he said because the government shut down. But it's really because she's the 218th vote to have the Epstein Maxwell files released. So that's another reason why Mike Johnson keeps sending everybody home, and that the Congress has only worked 12 days. 12 days the House has only worked for this year so far, which is ridiculous. No normal, regular working person would ever get away with that, whether you work for someone or work for yourself. It just wouldn't work. Okay, so now that we opened up the Epstein files and we know Prince Andrew has officially been stripped of his title Prince. Feel so bad for you, Prince Andrew. He's also been stripped of his other titles. But let's remember that as sad as that sounds for a prince in 2025, I can't believe there's even prince and kings that exist in this equal world where everyone is equal, whether you work in the government, a court, whether you're a celebrity. Somebody put in the comments that they think celebrities are not equal like other people either. I mean, it's just ridiculous. We're all equal. The fact that a prince still exists. Another story, he's living a free life. He's not in jail. After all that's been said and written and done, and all the survivors and victims that have come forward, he still lives a free life because he's royalty, because that's what it says he says. He's royalty. So I also learned that his last name, it says, is Windsor, you would think, but that's also not a real name either. Royalty just decided to grab that to empower all these years, and they're getting less and less popular because they're really not necessary. They're really disgusting, and I guess it's just how the billionaires of our country are trying to be. It's just not a real way of life. Maybe it was 1,000 years ago. He still denies, Andrew still denies everything that has been told and proven. And he also still lives rent-free on royal, property. So, my heart's bleeding for you. Which brings me to Virginia Giuffre and her book that I'm reading that came out last week, Nobody's Girl. It's very detailed, and all these people do need to be held accountable. And it really makes me sad that I've noticed in the comments sometimes that, men are very angry and they don't believe women, or that this actually even goes on. I don't know why, if they grew up in like this certain type of household where people make it okay or excuse it or just blatantly lie that it doesn't exist, but it does exist. and it's a real thing. So sorry if you're getting upset over E. Jean Carroll, proving that our president sexually abused her. It's not about the money thing when I posted it at all. It's about the bringing the truth out and having it proven in a court of law. How far will you go for this loser man? It's really, how far will you go? What kind of morals do you have that you're still say these things even when our country law has had the evidence and has made him guilty, and not only for this but for criminal activity which he's doing to our country right in front of our eyes. He's already been convicted. There's already proof, and the still deniers out there, which I don't know if that's funny or sad, but I guess they have no daughters or females in their life that really made them understand that this stuff is real and it actually happens on a very regular basis. But our country's not doing anything about it because just about everybody in the cabinet that's working for the current sex abuser, the men and even the woman in charge of education, has done these things or looked away, or has paid off somebody to not bring it up, or has got their case dismissed right before they were sworn into the cabinet. So, I mean, wake up and start reading and stop just watching Fox. It's just a show that they put news at the end of it, but it's actually not news. They talk about our president's, presence being at a table or shaking a hand. They're not talking about, how he walked away from there worse than what we had when he walked in Asia this week. Let's just talk about facts and stop name calling, and who cares about his handshake? It's just ridiculous. Talk about the facts and stop spewing lies. So my suggestion is I invite you to start reading and listening to other things other than Fox and Joe Rogan. It's so funny. He thinks the bigger his arm is, the bigger his show will be. I mean, work on your heart muscles, y'all. You'll get much more attention with your heart muscles growing from women, and you won't have to take what's theirs. They'll share it with you automatically. Mwah. That's about it for now. I'll catch up with you soon. Don't eat too much candy. Wink, wink. Eat all you want. See you soon.